You ever just sit there thinking to yourself, spacing out, ending up surrounded by a void of darkness, yet you could still see the stars, and ever wonder, why are we here? Welcome to the Triple Take Podcast. I'm Joseph.
I'm Frank.
I'm Manny.
I'm a moo.
And today, we're going to delve into the realm of science fiction.
I was holding in a fart.
Ooh,
while I
it's
was
the
saying
Twilight
that, I'm
Hour.
not gonna lie.
You were holding on a fart as you were saying that.
You could just keep going.
I'm just...
We're gonna skip over that.
We're not going to skip over that.
Nah.
Is that
Poopy
why you're
caca.
here? Ooh, Lord.
Grande caca.
Always got I got the Starbucks size wrong.
But today we are going to be delving into science fiction. What makes something sci-fi? You think it's either the actual science behind it, or do you think it's more of the fantasy that and the imagination that
Like the
fuels
fiction
it?
part.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think it has to do more with the science than anything else. Because before, when I used to think, because me researching what sci-fi actually is, and I figured out how broad it is, right? But from what I've thought, without any research or anything, what I always thought was just okay, science fiction is practical science, but more like how practical it would be if we had a certain degree of technology. So a good example would be Back to the Future. Where it's obviously time travel is not practical, but the theory is been around for a while, right? How time travel would work, right? Speed, all that stuff. Anyway, I'm not gonna pretend I know that 100%.
Bro, the speed, velocity.
But it's just or even when he was in the future, when Marty,
Mm-hmm.
right? When Marty was in the future, some of the things he saw, those were things that weren't necessarily out of impossible to happen. It was more it could happen, just not in the practical sense that they showed it of everybody using it, right?
Right.
Hoverboards and stuff like that. But it's not we can't create that. It just wouldn't be able to be used in a practical sense for the public. That's what I think science fiction is.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna first we're gonna have a little bit of history with Manny. All right.
History with Manny.
So in my tenure, science. My tenure of living.
Oh.
Science has not been my strong suit. I have always had a C average in every single science class I've ever taken.
Okay.
A C or below. So
Below? 5 or below, C or below?
so when you're
God.
when you're talking about science fiction,
Yeah.
it kind of I would say the best part about sci-fi is that it breaks reality in the sense that you can take a concept such as how Frank said, time travel or space travel and discovering new life on planets and stuff like that, and taking it and almost putting it into a fictional sense, but leaving you with that sense of this could almost be real. You know what I'm saying?
With the science behind it, it could exist.
This could exist. And I felt that when looking into the sci-fi genre, I felt that was the coolest thing, is that you hit that balance between science and fiction. But I do feel when you look at the balance between science and fiction, obviously fiction is gonna go a scale a little bit higher than the science.
Not always, though.
In most cases, and that's at least with movies that I've seen and shows that I've seen. One example I can give you off the top of my head would be best example, because I'm looking straight at it. Smallville. Why? Oh, okay, so
Nah, you gotta explain that.
Now, hear me out. I'm about to
Okay.
take you down a journey. So follow me through the journey. All right.
I'm going to try and follow.
Okay. So in Smallville, we obviously know Lex Luthor, right?
Yeah.
So Lex Luthor,
Oh,
obviously.
okay. I see where
Clean,
you're going with
Mr.
this.
Clean.
So Lex Luthor
I'm
plays
dead.
with
Nah,
the,
you're stupid.
if you know from the comics, Lex Luthor tries to create Bizarro, right?
Yeah.
And
Bizarro is
is a clone of Superman.
okay.
That is not so very bright.
For people that don't know.
In it, Lex Luthor tries to create Bizarro using a variety of different animals and stuff to create cloning for stuff.
Mixing them together.
Yeah. So I've seen where
Hybrid
I've read
genetics.
articles before of where we the United States military has like tried to figure out how we could do cloning, but using like robots to start, and then like it's weird. Just trust me. Follow me.
I mean, in terms of genetics, like they already do it with plants.
That's what I'm saying. So like the
animals.
Glow in the dark fish.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I say it's more fiction. The balance is more fiction than it is science, because for me, science would be reality. You know what I'm saying? And then fiction would obviously be fake.
Because I understand what you're saying, but this is like the reason why I say it's science more than fiction in terms of sci-fi. The way I think of sci-fi, it's just like you said, you were talking about genetics and cloning a human. Like that's already practical in plants and like fish, right? It's just not practical when it comes to humans because they're a lot more complex. So it's like it's not really fictional. It's just we're not to that level of the theory and the practicalness of that. Of
like
genetics.
A practical application.
Of genetics to be there. But it's just like that's not really fiction. It's just more like we haven't figured it out yet.
But to me, if you're gonna say if it's not real, if it's not possible, it's fake.
I mean it's fake, yeah. But I'm just saying like
if
it's
you
more.
Ain't real, you fake.
I'm just saying it's more. I feel like that's an argument to say that it's more science than fiction. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I think depending on like which media you're trying to look at, so there's a good balance between there's the more science oriented of sci-fi, and then there's the more
which is what I'm
fictional side of sci-fi.
Yeah.
And two franchises I'm gonna throw in there.
Go for it.
You have Star Trek and
Of
Star
course,
Wars.
Of course.
I would look at Star Trek being more of the science based, and Star Wars being more fantasy.
Yeah, I agree.
Because
the
Force is
races
cool,
and stuff like that.
The Force is cool,
yeah,
but
Force,
it's not practical, as Frank would say.
Definitely not.
The one thing,
especially in the movies.
Yeah, but like watching old school Star Trek, well, let's go to a planet, let's learn about these people. What do they do? Oh,
William
this is how they
Shatner.
behave.
Spock. What is it?
I mean, even the teleportation in Star Trek is like pretty like scientifically backed.
No, it's not. It's peace, love, and prosperity.
Oh, whatever.
Oh,
Come on, man.
Wait, am I right though? I don't really watch much Star Trek, so I don't know. But from what I know, like this, even the teleportation, they break it down like in scientifically.
That part I don't remember.
Oh,
the warp drive stuff, it's semi-possible. It's just the amount of energy output to make that a thing.
I'm pretty sure in Star Trek, from what I've seen, because my dad is a big fan of Star Trek, the transportation, I actually have it right there. For the transportation, it's broken down by like taking like your molecules, if I'm not mistaken, like your molecular structure.
Teleportation,
then,
you mean?
Yeah, and then it's like
restructuring it into something else.
Into a different.
So basically, killing you and making you a new person.
Almost exactly like that.
Murder.
But yeah, like even like I could pull like from even something like I think it's The Martian.
Matt Damon.
Where Matt Damon, yeah, where like he's.
I need to watch that.
Where they have where he's in the where he's in the little dome thing and they have the plants.
Yeah, the biodome.
Yeah, the biodome. So it's like that's practical. It's just like not possible in terms of what we can do because it's just like we know how it would be done, but we just can't do it. That's what I'm saying. We just have to create a perfect environment for the plants to be able to survive. But it's just like to be able to actually do it though, like it's like whoa, like that's not really feasible.
You gotta know what you're doing though.
Exactly. But like it's still like to keep it consistently like that though is like if we can't even do that in the Earth, like how are we gonna do that in Mars? That's what I'm trying to say. It's like that's the way I think about it.
For me, I don't want to see them get to that level. Like
you don't want to go to another world?
No, I'm saying movies, TV shows, gaming, anime have scared me into seeing
Terminator?
What space and future is like. Miss me.
Nah, I'm good.
I'd rather just live in the present and not try
live in the present
and not try to disturb any other terrestrial. Yeah, you know what I mean. E.T.
Not him putting the finger out. That's crazy. Shout out Master Oogway though.
I'd rather not
present.
do that. Like even now, I know we're like not on the cusp of finding life on Mars, but like. Like there's been steady progress towards making Mars habitable, and I don't want that to be a thing because then we might mess with like something that shouldn't be messed with.
But
you know what I'm saying?
to me, I just don't understand why that's even a thing, like terraforming like other planets. I'm just like, why?
Because
Why not just terraform here?
that's what I'm saying. So like in the sci-fi genre, we've seen multiple times in movies
Like,
and like
spending so much
in
money.
cinematic adaptations that humans want to basically take over the universe. So why wouldn't we go
Like-
over to Mars and say, now this is our planet, and stick the American flag
That
right
doesn't
there
make
with an
no sense.
astronaut going, huh?
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
it wouldn't be America. I'm just saying that right now.
like-
If that was the case, it would not be America.
Like it's happened in so many like adaptations of cinema that it's like at this point it's feasible.
So you're scared of the future. Frank, what about you?
I'm not scared of it, but I would rather not deal with that.
You would never want to go to another world?
No.
No, I don't want to go to another timeline to
Like,
another
just
universe.
with the movies we watch of like people of like, oh, like I'm 25 light years away from Earth, like in this random planet mining stuff. I'm just like, I'm good. I'd rather not be a slave in space.
I'd rather not you come down,
rather have my rights in
down
Ameri-
and
in
visit our
United-
planet, handshake our president, and then all of a sudden we're at all-out war. Like
with
this,
the universe.
yeah, this ain't Battle Los Angeles. I'm not trying
I
to
mean,
fight.
I don't
you know?
believe in alien. I don't believe in aliens, regardless. But
Yeah, no, I don't believe in that either.
but
like,
at the same time, it's like if we were accounting as if that were true, like in the movies, miss me.
yeah, no, 100%.
We have enough problems here.
100%. Like, why would
That's
I?
how I
Why would I want?
How do you
I-
feel, Joseph? How do you feel, Joseph?
I guess I like looking for problems. 'Cause
You do. I know that.
I would love to explore the universe, going through space. And if I'm, well, hopefully not completely by myself, but if I am by myself exploring and just being able to look out the window, get to see the whole cosmos, having X amount of nebulas here, over there, just exploring, I think I would enjoy that. I ain't gonna lie. I would.
Look, I probably would enjoy it in virtual reality. Thank you. End of conversation.
Well, you're boring.
While I'm sitting at home with a little.
I haven't even seen all 50 states, so that's like. I think I'll start there.
And think about that. Like, I don't even want to see all 50 states. Like,
I don't think I ever will. So it's like
I don't
I
want to
don't
see
care
it.
either way. Either way, but
Because, I mean, the one thing that scares me about the future, which a lot of, like, sci-fi,
weenie.
anyway, a lot of sci-fi movies and shows present, such as like Blade Runner, in terms of like how populated
Or like
the planet becomes.
dystopian.
Exactly how dystopian gets. What was the movie? The Fifth Element. See how condensed.
They have to like live like literally like height dependent instead of like
Exactly
wide.
how condensed New York becomes. And another movie that we recently watched, new entry in the Alien franchise, Alien Romulus. How people per se would live on other worlds, and you don't have a full scale civilization. It's not really a colony, but people are just more or less forced to work. And like that part of it, that does scare me, because like if people are going to go to Mars, as like people are wanting or planning to do so, then they're not going to really be there to live. They're literally going to have to just work for the rest of their lives. If they want to set up a colony, then that's all they're going to be doing till something is established.
Yeah. Which will take like years,
Yeah.
thousands of years.
You're gonna have a lot of what the phrasing is, like transitional generations, where they're not really there to live, but they're just there to be the foundation to set up for people that can.
And I think like Alien Romulus does a really good job of like showing that, because like in the movie, like, well, spoilers.
Oh yeah,
kind of
We're gonna
spoilers.
start talking about this movie. You haven't seen it? Watch it. It's pretty good.
Yeah, but spoilers, like, it's not really much of a spoiler what I'm gonna say, but like it's not. But anyway, like they're in a mining planet, right? And it's just like they get hit with these diseases, and it's just like I think that's a more practical view of like space exploration to other planets. Yeah, you're mining, you're doing all this stuff, but then you're gonna be introduced with like new bacteria, new elements, new atmospheres, and it's just like humans aren't supposed to be there. So it's gonna have an effect on like human biology and the way and human health. So, and that leads into like what I like about sci-fi in general, which is like especially like dystopian aspects or like more practical sci-fi stuff, because it really leans into how humanity is as a society. Like it really goes really deep into it. Like, okay, yeah, we got all this technology stuff and like everything's going on, but at the end of the day, humans are still like this. And this is how it would actually be. Like, it sounds cool to be like, oh, I'm on a hovercraft or I go to space, but it's just like, oh, war still exists, though. It's just worse now. Or like, oh yeah, you got cyborgs, cool, but that means more weapons, so people die a lot more. It's like, so you know what I'm saying? So I think that aspect of sci-fi is what attracts me to the genre.
When it comes to Alien Romulus, in my opinion, so this takes place in 2074, right? This is
I didn't even pay attention to that.
oh, hey brother, you better get knowledgeified right now. So this takes place after the events of the first Aliens movie. Literally, it goes Aliens, then Alien Romulus, then Aliens 2. So I'm going to say that this movie did everything that the first Aliens movie did correctly. It made me feel like these people that were in that mining area, they were trapped, and it felt trapped. That when that girl tells the lady, "Oh, I have enough credits to now leave."
How many hours worked?
Yeah. You know, so and then she tells her, "Yeah, sorry, it just went up." Like, and now she's
Psych.
trapped, and she's trapped in there for almost like basically another, in their time would be like another century, or like
Well, whatever.
No,
Because what she
wait,
had like
Century is 10.
she had
Century's
12,000
10,
hours
know,
worked,
I'd be
and she had to do now her new quota literally went up to like 24. So basically, double what she just did.
so.
So yeah, the lady told her like, oh, you gotta be here another like 8 to 9 years or something like that.
Yeah.
So in the first
Crazy.
in the first Aliens movie in 1979, they made me feel trapped when everything starts happening and like everything starts playing. In this movie, I felt trapped from the beginning. Like the girl and the her robot Andy, they were on this planet. They were basically low class. This was what low class was in that planet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Or
saying?
in general,
And
probably in the universe.
you know, it led them to do a mission, which is where this movie takes place. It led them to do a mission so that way they could get put into cryosleep, so that way they could make the trip to a new planet, so that way they could live a better life. That was the goal. And they go on this mission on an abandoned station where the first aliens happened. That's where you meet the old robot, which is Rook. You see him on the floor. I love that they brought him back, even though he was CGI'd like crazy. But
I didn't care.
it was cool. It was cool nonetheless to have him back. They brought back the face huggers, which me and Joseph were super excited.
Wait, they took that out of the other ones? I didn't watch all the Alien movies, just as a precursor.
Oh, after the past few movies, they didn't have like through Prometheus and Alien Covenant. Like Alien Covenant, sure they had one face hugger, but
That's when it started like going down.
And then
yeah, it was just nice to have them bring back old elements back.
Oh, okay.
And if you look at in Aliens 3, they're not very prominent.
Okay.
The alien is prominent.
Like the
xenomorph.
Xenomorph.
The xenomorph is
the
prominent.
main guy.
Yeah. So the facehuggers are like pushed to the side. So it was really nice to see that they got the spotlight, you know, and it made it, like when they're trapped in that room and then you just see the facehuggers like on the walls and stuff like that. I was just like, it's gonna pop off, and it did. It really did. I think this movie will go down as one of my top 5 movies of 2024. It might crack the list, honestly.
Honestly, same.
Because I love this movie, and then the fake ending was perfectly done.
Fake ending.
Because you know, towards the end of the movie,
Well, you know how they thought like they were gonna get away.
they
but then
thought
the
that they were
alarm-
done. They thought that they were done, but obviously, as the audience, we knew that they weren't done.
Yeah.
But it was like okay, we're done.
Nah.
We made it. We did it.
Psych.
You got.
Someone did something stupid.
You got,
Someone pulled The Walking Dead.
somebody didn't tell the other person not to take the thing that they weren't supposed to take.
I mean, they did tell him. He just didn't listen.
So I think that was done perfectly. So I'm going to say overall, this movie to me is an 8 out of 10 guaranteed. I would recommend this to a person who would love to see this the sci-fi thriller, suspenseful type of movie.
Joseph, give your thoughts first, because I'm the only one that like has the point of view of like not seeing the other Alien movies.
So I really enjoyed it. I think the biggest strength of this movie which is kind of crazy to me how originally, similarly to how Prey went straight to Hulu instead of like theaters,
Bro, I forgot about that movie. I need to watch it.
that Alien Romulus was supposed to go straight to Hulu. It wasn't even supposed to go to theaters.
Wow, that's crazy.
And the greatest strength of this movie is how beautiful this movie
Bro,
looks.
what? I was gonna say that.
Like the way
Bro.
their world building.
The rings, bro. The rings.
Yeah, the rings of the world. That planet, they didn't like what the girl was born there, and she was like, I've never seen sunlight before, and she's never been up in the atmosphere because she's been working on the planet. And you know, just imagining a person living on a blacked out world, and then you finally go up.
Only
and actually,
artificial light. That's terrible.
yeah, you go up, you see the layers of storms blocking out the sun, and once you get up, you go through the rings of the world, literally all the depth. And it's crazy to me that the budget for this movie, which it was very high, because most of if not all the sets that they really had were all done practically.
Yeah.
You know, they built them out of the studio. If like the sets were ginormous, they just opened up the doors and just threw as much dirt as possible just to make this look believable. In terms of budgeting, they said that they didn't, like, the budget could have been bigger for the quality, like, you know how you would have like a Marvel movie, that budget, but imagine that being like 33% less.
Yeah, well, their
and they
CGI
pulled
was
out that quality.
Bro, their CGI was immaculate. I know he probably doesn't like the.
No,
the
I'm
Rook
not.
guy.
I'm gonna say this right now. I'm not a fan of how Rook looked.
Okay.
I'm
But
not
he
a
looked
fan.
almost like a mix of CGI and practical. Cause I could tell like part of his body was practical when they were like messing with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they picked him up and they put
Yeah.
him on the thing, you could tell that.
But
that
when he was like
practical.
talking and stuff.
Once he started talking, you saw his face. I was like, nah.
But aside
dude.
from that CGI, I understand what you're saying. I didn't care. Like I figured, but like aside from that, like the space and the rings and the way the ships looked and like the way they moved, I was like, that's crazy. That was
Especially
amazing.
the way that they moved, because like if they bumped
ships moved?
into a rock, for instance, like when the ship
Or, like-
ended up hitting the station,
and it like flipped and started turning and stuff.
everything had weight to it.
Yeah, you
Every
could feel
bump
it.
hit the. I mean, obviously the ship's hitting a station, but then the whole station shook. Like, you know, you get
Yeah.
that sense of weight.
That's hard to do with CGI. Like so, like those little details really makes it like more believable.
Yeah, that's the part that I like about science fiction movies. Like if they keep it as grounded as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean,
Same, I
realistically,
agree.
in space, if you're gonna hit something, you're gonna hit it full force regardless.
Yeah,
And
there's no like nothing to stop you.
right. And then on top of that, having the movie take place in such a like real life environment per se, I dug it. The threat was there. The threat did not care. The threat was going after you.
Bars.
I liked it.
Oh, you want to give a rating?
A rating?
I don't know if you want to. You might as well keep it going. I figure.
I'm between a 7 and 8 because I understand
Wow,
why
that
people.
low.
Not really. Well,
I would not. You know,
I'm surprised. You
I'm only
you didn't say anything bad about it, so I'm just surprised it was so
so I'm
towards the middle.
I just wanna say this real quick because I forgot to mention it.
Go ahead.
I gave this an 8 out of 10
Oh, okay. Why? you gave it
because I am not a fan
Of?
of the Alien franchise. I am not.
that? Okay.
The first movie in
Even though
1979.
you've seen all of them.
I've seen all of them. But I'm not a fan because I really do not like Alien 2, Alien 3, Alien Covenant. I do not like Prometheus. I think it's boring. I do not like
That's
Alien
crazy
versus
because there's
Predator.
someone we know that always calls movies boring, but then he loves Prometheus.
But I do not like any of the Alien versus Predators.
I've never seen it, so
I'm not a fan.
never seen anything.
I'm not a fan of
Only a
Alien
little bit of the first
or
one.
the Predator movies. The Predator, the first one's great. The second one's terrible.
Only
Nobody
seen the
remembers
first
it. Nobody remembers that Danny Glover is in the second one. Is the
I
main
didn't even know
character.
there was a second one. I only know the first one.
Look at that.
I only know the first one and then Alien versus Predator. That's it.
takes place in L.A.
Yeah, it takes place in L.A.
Maybe that's why I didn't see it.
So, and then the ones that
sounds like a
went
terrible
after
concept.
that. The ones that went after that. I know there was one in 2016, 2017.
There was Predators. It was.
I heard
Predators.
Prey is
That
the
one.
best one. I heard Prey is the best.
Predators really good.
I didn't like that. I didn't like it. I didn't like that one either. I liked Prey.
Wait, is
Was it-
Predators like the third one basically?
No, the newest Predator movie aside from
Which is
Prey,
Prey?
the one before Prey.
Oh, there was one before that. Oh, I
there
didn't
was
even know
one
that. That's crazy.
with the fugitive predator, which made no sense. Where it was just like, oh, let's, like, you know, this predator is very like, oh, don't hunt humans, but then he kills humans, and then there's a super predator, and then he wants to like take this one kid who's autistic, and somehow they had autism play. This autistic kid was able to decode predator technology. It was weird.
Whoa.
Like it was very like weird.
Like the concept was kind of all over the place.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah.
So hold on, let me get back on track. Because
Oh,
went
I
on a
thought
rant.
you made your
went
point
on-
already.
I went on a rant. real quick.
Oh, I
Like
thought you
your
already
rant.
made your point. I'm sorry.
But So I'm taking it as like, because Aliens, the 1979 one.
You like that one?
That one to me is an easy 9 out of 10.
Oh, okay. So you like that one more than this one? Okay.
Oh yeah, no. That is gonna be my favorite for forever. They're not recreating that.
Okay.
That magic. I should say. So this to me is easily the second best in the whole franchise. So 8 out of 10. That's
So
my
right
rank.
under it is what you're trying to like. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm trying to say. So yeah, why did you give it so low? Like you didn't say anything bad about it. That's why I'm just like
So-
surprised.
The one thing
Yeah.
that the movie tried to do,
Mm-hmm.
because like all these movies are within the same franchise and like taking place right after whatchamacallit, the first Aliens movie.
One, yeah.
Because then they talked. This is the first Aliens movie per se, aside from Alien Covenant, but having main points discussed in Prometheus and Alien Covenant to be introduced, because now they're trying to harvest the aliens for the black goo of life per se. And I'm just like, okay, if that's what they're trying to harvest, then logically speaking, why would the company, like the Weyland-Yutani company, just leave this station there, derelict for years, floating above this planet? You know what I mean? Like, if theirs is like, oh, this could be what we need to revolutionize genetic engineering to make humans the perfect spacefaring race, then why would you just leave the station derelict like that? Like, that part did not make sense to me.
I think the whole point of that was that it was floating for a while and then it recently got into their orbit. I think that was the point of that.
But even
From
still,
what me watching the movie.
but like, why would you have this grand, ginormous company like, this is what we need, this is the future, this is the grade A future of us? Why would the company just let that go?
I have no idea.
That part made no sense to me. Other
Oh,
than
you're
that,
talking
like the
about.
movie.
Oh, you're talking about Andy's objective when he gets the modular switch.
Yes. Yes,
Well, no,
yes.
like what Rogue
Like
wanted.
Rook was talking about, like, oh, the black girl.
Oh, okay.
Well,
because
that part you stepped out. I ain't gonna lie, you stepped out of that one.
that has a funny story behind it, but we're not gonna talk about that.
No, we're not.
I tried to warn him.
So
So I give it a little bit of a lower rating in terms of how it fit story-wise, connecting to the other movies.
Okay. I can understand that. But
'Cause
3
then
points lower? I still feel like that's a
I could
small
see how
reason.
people didn't enjoy the movie because a lot of people were like 50-50 on it. Like, there were so many callbacks, which sometimes callbacks is a double-edged thing. Like, oh, that's cool that you're referencing this, but then it's just like you're still referencing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Such as the heavy reliance on Rogue, which I don't mind. I dug it, but it was just like certain decisions that characters made, like, oh, where we're getting like the weapons, like, cool, they got the pulse rifles, which I loved how they explained.
The way they
aim
work?
assist.
The way they work, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
But-
lie. That part kind of pissed me off because the British guy all of a sudden knew all that stuff, but yet in Aliens 1, they were just like, oh, I don't know how to shoot it. But it automatically just starts shooting in this one. And they also know how to use it?
Hear me out. They get the weapon, they get their weapons, but then after he's like, oh, they could finally try fighting back, but then they can't. Why? Because they can't just shoot an alien in the risk of the acid blowing a hole through the space station from where they were.
Did fake Ripley not prove that theory wrong?
Fake
Yes.
Ripley. Fake Ripley.
30 minutes after they got the gun.
Ripley's the main character of Aliens.
Which is?
Sigourney Weaver.
No, I'm saying who's the counterpart to it in this movie?
Oh,
the
the
main
main
chick.
girl. I don't know her name.
Rain-
The main girl.
Rain-
Oh, you mean
Main
Ellie
girl with-
from Last of Us?
Basically.
Basically, yeah. Fake Ripley did it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but
I'm saying,
there was a
like-
lot of conditions to make
like
her
they got
be
the
able to do it,
gun
though.
instead of like fighting
the
back right away,
anti-gravity?
Yeah, which actually makes sense.
which how they use. It was basically like, oh, we got the gun, we can't really use it till it gets set up for a specific scene. That's what I meant. That was kind of like stupid.
Oh,
Like, how are you gonna get a weapon to fight back, but you can't really fight back till it looks cool? You see what I'm saying? Like, that was more of like a movie thing than like a story thing, which I was like, okay.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Well,
I'm gonna have
Because
to,
they, cause
I'm
they
gonna have to
explained it.
disagree. I'm gonna have to disagree on that.
No, that's
Because
fine.
let me go to my perspective because I haven't watched any of the Alien movies. I only watched the only part of the first Alien movie that I watched was the most famous scene of the person on the table and the thing coming out of the chest.
That was the
Chest burst.
Yeah, yeah, and it's like and this thing comes out like starts coming out and rolling like a worm.
Yeah.
But like that's the only part of that movie I ever saw. Right, so like literally that beginning part. Even when I tried to watch the actual movie, that's the only part I got to, cause it's boring, in my opinion. But the beginning, but that's like every Alien movie is pretty boring in the beginning, from what I know.
I agree 100% with what you said because alien movies are not made for everyone.
Yeah,
They're
I just
really
feel like in
not.
the beginning.
It's a niche audience.
Yeah, because for me, when I was watching it, like, because it was a while ago, like now I probably would be able to tolerate it a little bit more and like actually get to the good parts. But like in the beginning, it was too boring for me. I wanted more like, I was feeling more into like something more immediate satisfaction. So I was like, all right, not for me right now, right? But anyway, when it comes to this movie specifically to Romulus, I'm gonna start off with the rating 9 out of 10. Amazing movie. I'm just gonna say it right now.
Non-alien
Yeah,
fan.
bro, because the reason why, and I'm gonna explain it. The reason why I knew, because like when you're watching a movie cinematically, you can tell when specific shots cater towards callbacks, like when it's focusing on a specific name or a specific picture, or like starts focusing on the environment where they are, like the hallway. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, those obviously are things that were prevalent in the previous movies. I was like.
When they hit the lab, I was like,
yeah, the lab too. But the lab, I knew what the lab was because like that's where the scene happened, right? I'm not sure if I know that.
Yes, that's where the guy has the little black thing.
Okay,
come out
cool.
of him.
Okay, yeah, I figured. Oh, that looks familiar. I'm pretty sure that's where it happened, right? Me watching it as like a movie, I haven't seen anyone like just as a standalone movie. The best comparison I could have to this, I feel like, is this movie to the Alien franchise is Rogue One to me in Star Wars.
Wait. Out of my room right now.
Wait.
How dare you?
Wait. I think Rogue One is better, right? I like Rogue One better.
No, I'm agreeing 100% with that. Like I'm not.
Okay, yeah. No. I'm trying to tell you because obviously you're trying to kick me out of here. I think it's the same like in terms of quality, like the best, like they're equally as good. But no, I think Rogue One is better. Still, I think Rogue One is better. But I'm saying in terms of the way it stands in the scope of all the movies, yeah, the franchise of the movies. So Rogue One obviously has callbacks, and it's like a prequel to what happened in like one of the most famous parts of Star Wars in general, right?
Yes.
The
right?
biggest question since the movie came out.
Yeah. So it's like, but it's like
How they
that.
get
Obviously, it has like a little bit of the history of Star Wars carrying it a little bit, right? But as a standalone movie, even if you don't know that, it's a good movie. Because it has the comedy, the robot. It has the main character, who's a girl. It has the crew that comes together for one goal last minute.
He dies on the
But
way
the goal was different.
Okay, obviously.
I understand.
But you're starting to see the comparisons that I'm trying to see here, right? So the same way that I view Alien Romulus in the Alien movies, but even though I haven't watched it, but I can tell like Alien is not that hard of a concept to grasp, if I'm being honest. So it's like. So it's like you have those specific similarities with the crew, right? But the thing that I'm trying to like, the point I'm trying to make is that even though you guys are talking about the callbacks and how it could be 50-50, right? The way I see it, even though I didn't know any of the callbacks, I thought it was a great movie, 9 out of 10. So I feel like that's sometimes when you knowing the background can be a detriment because it's almost like you're looking for it and then you're comparing immediately, instead of taking it for what it actually is. So I feel like it's a 9 out of 10 as a standalone movie because that's the way that's my point of view. Because that's literally the only one I've watched. So it's like when you're looking at it through like the callbacks to comparing it to the first one, comparing it to how the other ones go and how it interconnects with all the stories, I can see why you would think that. Because it was like flashes. It was like sprinkled. It wasn't really embedded, if that makes sense. It wasn't really consistent, like you guys were trying to say. But when you look at the way the characters interacted with each other, how the robot, which obviously my favorite character, carried the movie with his acting and the character in general, the way he went into the story.
Better than the threat. He's better than the
in
threat.
my opinion. And that's the only gripe I had with that movie. I was not scared of the threat until the end. Until the end. That I was like, all right, pause, chill. Get me away from this. but like, yeah, that's like, but like that's why I think and even Joseph was talking about the cinematics and the CGI, like everything just came together really well as a standalone movie is what I'm trying to make. That's the point I'm trying to make.
All right, you can come back in the room.
Yep.
See, what I explained is pretty good, right?
Another strength to the movie, you don't have to have watched the other movies. You can still appreciate it. Like if you just look at it like, oh, these people want to get out of this situation, but them trying to find a solution to their problem, they inadvertently get screwed over.
Yeah, and that's
heavily.
And that's the point of sci-fi that I like, that when it's relatable, even though it's so far in the future, like dystopian, all this crazy stuff, it's still relatable. The mining, that's a real thing in real life, like in other places
their
in the
whole
world.
work situation makes me feel like me working in retail. Like, I'm just never gonna get out.
The work,
Like,
but that's how
I
most
felt that.
people feel. Like you're just like you feel like you're stuck in a system that you can never get out of.
I'd rather take a xenomorph.
And
to
it
work.
plays off that, and it makes you understand, like, okay,
Face hug me any day.
and I'm saying, like, that's what, like, when you watch horror movies in general, just like, why are you making this stupid decision? But like, when you're watching this, when you're watching this movie, you're just like, you understand why they would make this stupid decision, because like they feel like they really have no other option, which leads them into this, which leads them into a bunch of different things. Like, oh, I need to understand what's going on in this situation. There's a lot of emotions being in play heavily. And then that's when things happen. That makes me understand the characters better, even though I've only knew them for a short time.
The other thing I wanted to say about this movie is the fact they did not have high-level actors and actresses in this movie.
That's another reason why I thought about Rogue One when I saw this.
But Rogue One actually had high-level actors and actresses
all of them
on it. Yes, the main character, the girl.
I just didn't
she was
know
in a
them
bunch
then.
of
I
movies
just didn't
before. What's the pilot? I forgot his name. He was in before this. The only one that I'm starting to find out was at least like she wouldn't be considered a high level actress. She would be considered like that mid level. Was the main character.
B-tier?
She was the only one. Everybody else was like, on the come up. This is like
They did a really good job, bro.
Big screen.
They did a really good job,
big
bro.
big
Like,
piece of work.
These
You know what I'm
actors did
saying?
really good.
So I appreciate this movie even more for that, because one thing that Alien Covenant did, which I didn't like, was it brought so many names to it.
Obviously a cash grab kind of thing.
And it was like, bro, are you serious?
That's another thing about that.
This is why I'm going to the movie.
Grab.
James Franco was in it for 40 seconds.
Yeah, for 40 seconds.
Yeah, that's one thing I like about this movie. It doesn't feel like a cash grab. It feels like a genuine look at the series. Like
what I did really like
franchise.
This is one of those things that I say about movies, is that giving the opportunity to these young actresses and actors.
And honestly, bro,
sometimes obviously it doesn't always work. It doesn't always pan out into a great movie. But sometimes you get a great, in my opinion, 8 out of 10 movie like this, where most of these people
you could
are
tell
not
they
well
wanted
known.
more, bro. Like you could just tell. Like
And
they're
everybody performed really well. I
so.
have nobody in that movie character wise that I did not like. Even the Asian girl that was only there for like 30 minutes, and she was only there to get face hugged. Like, honestly,
You could tell watching at the very least the movie that everyone that worked on it, there was a lot of love to the franchise as a whole.
Oh heck yeah!
And they did what they did. But though, using Alien as an example, a lot of movies nowadays I don't think have that like old school flair of like Back to the Future, where there's not a whole like degree of originality anymore. Like, where's that sense of like awe and wonder in terms of like science fiction? You don't really see that anymore.
Bro, it's because like we still live in an age of like of reboots, and you know what I'm saying. Like we're still living in that kind of little bit of age, like reboots, bringing things back that used to be popular. I forgot what it's called, something specific.
So
you know what I mean.
I'm gonna be the bad guy here. Okay,
Mr. Antagonist. Okay.
It's
As
hard.
usual.
It's hard to come up with new ideas for these franchises
Very true.
when the
They
old.
don't even have to be the same franchise though. Maybe just something new.
Oh no, obviously, but I'm saying for franchises such as Alien, such as even Star Wars, it's hard to recreate that magic of the old, and then when you try to do it, you miss the mark on what truly made it special. And what truly made it special is the fact that it was new, it was fresh, it was a great idea from the start. You know what I'm saying? So it's very hard to do that nowadays, because we as humans, we don't want to get rid of the old, but we want to see it upgraded into the new. And it's very hard to do.
I guess. I mean, sometimes you just gotta let things die and let it go.
Yeah, I agree with Joseph. Because the reason why is like...
But no. I agree with you guys. But I'm saying, and I see that perspective.
No, I
as
understand
well.
that. But the problem is that that's mostly true, but they still do it. You want to know why?
And sometimes it hits though.
No, it doesn't though. Most of the time, it doesn't though.
This movie is a
sometimes
good
it does.
example. This movie's a good example.
This movie's not a good.
hitting.
This movie's not a good example because you want to know why it's not a good example? Because it's not really a continuation of the story. It's just a side. No, hang on. Let me say something.
Let him cook.
It's just a.
He's cooking. He's burning. He's burning
No, he's
the
not.
food.
No, he's not.
Burning the
Starting
food.
to
not.
boil. Relax.
He's the.
He didn't even turn on the stove.
This is basically a side quest. If you didn't know anything from this, you wouldn't care for the whole overall story.
What are you saying? Like if I had no previous knowledge of
No. I'm saying like if this movie didn't exist, it wouldn't affect the whole story. It wouldn't. It wouldn't affect it.
the story's over.
I understand that. Oh, I didn't know that, but
The story's over.
but that's what I'm
That's
trying
why
to.
they keep going back. It's because it's done.
But like this is another. They added another element, but it wasn't a continuation of the story because this is new characters, new goals, new reasons, all that stuff. You know what I'm trying to say? Like this wasn't like this didn't have anything to do. Well, it did have something to do, but it didn't. I don't know how to explain it. It's like it's almost like Rogue One. It's just like
Well, in the end, like so the company wanted the black goo, cool, whatever, but they don't end up doing anything with it. It's just a plot device for the last act.
and they obviously get it later. So it's like this had no real like impact to the actual story. And that's the same thing that I could say about Star Wars. It's just like, okay, like, yeah, I'm going to go episodes 1 through 6.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go 7. And they're trying to continue 1 through 6. But you got the Old Republic. You got all that crazy stuff with Darth Riven and all those crazy people and like
coolest of the cool of Star Wars.
World-sucking vampires. Who cares about Luke? I want to see that. You know what I'm trying to say? And they're still doubling down on it even more. You know why? Because even though it's hard to make something original and they know it's going to be mid, they know you're going to buy it.
Because
that's what you're hoping and praying. Because you're hoping and praying it's the same as before. And when you get disappointed, you know what you do? You still give it another chance.
You know,
Whoa.
The way you're explaining that has me thinking about that one commercial where, like, you have the frying pan, and then you have an egg, and your egg's your brain, and the frying pan's drugs, and this is your brain on drugs. Why? Because you keep trying to go after it, and it never gives you the same feeling.
That's not always true.
But with Star Wars, it is.
Okay, but yeah, okay, that's one example.
Okay, when is it not true?
When is it not true?
Yeah.
We don't have enough time in this episode.
Just say one. Just say one.
We're going to make time.
I would say Blade Runner.
Yeah, but that's not. Well, how many movies of Blade Runner are there?
Two.
There's 2, but
That's why!
They're spin-offs. They're spin-off series.
Yeah. That's
Same as Star Wars.
No. I'm talking about the main movies here. Right? And like,
So we're not gonna include
hang on a second.
Ahsoka, Obi-Wan, the Kenobi. Like we're not including. that at
No,
all?
I'm talking about the main continuity, like the main movies. They made what, like 8 episodes, 8 movies for the same thing.
What is the same thing?
1 through 6, 7 and 8.
going
We're about
off
the
of
same continuation of that story.
Basically, like the Skywalker Star Wars first.
Blade Runner 1, 2. Then you got
Skywalker
spin-offs.
See, okay, so
Max?
going
Mad
off
Max.
I never watched Mad Max.
I need to rewatch it.
Look, I'm cooking.
Going
He's
off
cooking
of Frank's
cereal.
point-
I'm cooking rice and beans.
I don't know how you're
A
cooking.
wild comparison. But for Star Wars, my favorite
His mind is
thing
consistent.
in recent years,
It only requires 2 ingredients.
my favorite thing from Star Wars in recent years, and I'm a big Star Wars fan. These guys know. My favorite thing was watching the first episode of The Mandalorian. Sure, it takes place in like the Star Wars universe, but it didn't feel like it was
example.
connected to anything.
Perfect example.
Like, I'm totally fine with having some random bounty hunter doing whatever the heck away from everything else.
And in a good comparison from that,
Saw?
you know, hang on a second.
Oh, that's
not.
trash.
Hold up a
Saw?
second. Wait a
Saw 10 is
second.
trash.
Spiral.
Wait a
I
second.
haven't seen that.
Got him.
Isn't it trash?
Check. Mate.
Wait a
You
second.
talking about Spiral with Chris Rock?
Yeah,
Wait a
it trash?
second.
No, it was good.
Wait a second. You're talking about horror now, though.
That's true.
We're talking.
Backseat.
Horror is different.
It don't matter.
You want to know why horror is
asked the
different?
question.
You want to
I
know?
gave
You
the
want to know
answer.
why horror is different?
Why is it different?
Because it could be terrible and still people will still like it. as a movie.
But you just said that people are willing to give it a second chance because the people love the franchise and they want something great. So when they go to see it, they're disappointed. Same thing with horror movies. You go over, you watch Saw 1, 2, 3, and then you get disappointed when you see 4, 5, and 6.
So how would you just prove my point right? That's what I said, and you said you just proved it.
But I'm saying it doesn't always hit all the time. It's not. You can't say that.
Okay, but you were disappointed with 5 and 6, right?
No. I'm
okay. Which one? Wait. But which one disappointed you? Wait, hang on a second. Hang on a second.
That were not good.
Okay, but I'm gonna prove my point right now. Which one disappointed you? No. Which one disappointed you?
Stop.
Wait, which one disappointed you?
We did that already.
Just tell me one. Just tell me one that disappointed you. Just one.
I'm gonna
say a name.
I'm gonna say the final chapter.
Which is Saw
8.
Okay,
I think.
And then you watched 10, didn't you?
7.
But then you watched 10, didn't you?
Yeah.
Prove my point. 8 was trash, but you still watched 10. Why? Because you still had hope, even though it was garbage. You had no reason to believe that 10 was going to be good. But the only reason you watched...
I had plenty of reasons.
Why?
Because they had brought back Tobin Bell.
I don't know what that means.
It's the old dude.
They brought back the original Jigsaw.
I don't know what that means.
It's the old dude.
But
they brought back Jigsaw. They brought back Amanda. I knew it was going to be great.
No, but it wasn't that good, though. It was okay.
What? Bro, Saw 10 was great.
But then again, I don't watch Saw.
Haters.
Right? But either way, that's the point I'm trying to make. You watched the bad one, but you still have reason to believe that the other ones will be good based on the fact of your own bias. That's what I'm trying to say. But hang on a second, though. Hang on a second.
I'm hanging on.
I'm hanging on by
I'm trying to go back to my point.
At this point, I'm living on a prayer.
I forgot what the hell my point was. Because this man just kept going on a rant about Saw. But I don't know, bro. But the point I'm trying to make is that, like, when it comes to certain things, I feel like they double down on things because they know consumers will want to buy it. When even though that most people have been asking for, like Star Wars is the best example, like Star Wars Legends and Old Republic, people have been asking for movies for that and TV shows for that for so long, but they refuse to do it because that's a gamble. That's basically original. That's basically only lore. There's no like actual like there's not much media to back that up. So they would have to really bring together all that lore and create a story out of it. Whereas like the ones that like episode 1 through 8 or whatever, they would just be like, all right, this happened. We're gonna build off this with this, and that's it. New people, new fights, new lightsabers, new pew pews. Like that's it. Comedy that you're not in comedy in there. That's not gonna be funny 3 years from now. And then when you rewatch the movie, you're gonna be like, this wasn't as good as I thought it was.
So one thing that I dig about science fiction and like by extension like comics and stuff where you get like certain people like you see like, oh, that would be cool if this was real, such as like, you know, the hoverboards from Back to the Future, and the closest thing we got was a little like wheelie thingy.
Yeah, you mean the one that Mike Tyson like slipped and busted his cheeks on?
Yeah, that one. Or
no,
for instance, like from Star Wars, the most realistic thing that we could probably get out of Star Wars is having a jetpack. What is something from like sci-fi?
No, it would be a lightsaber.
No, definitely a jetpack. Definitely a jetpack. This is a dude that can literally ride a jetpack. He made a jetpack that can ride. He can ride it across a lake.
I guess.
Yeah, bro.
So
you can watch his TED Talk. I forgot who he is, but he made a TED Talk about making it like
we're closer to a lightsaber.
Yeah, you'd be surprised.
So out of any like one sci-fi movie or whatever, what's one thing you guys would want?
You could go first. I don't know.
What I would want?
Yeah.
It sounds stupid for saying it. I want a Star Destroyer.
I know. He always says that. All right, I want to be able to just turn to the left a little bit. All right, I'm home. Turn to the left to the right. All right, I'm at my house. I mean, I'm at work.
Yeah. Someone makes me mad. Okay, well, every laser point at that house. Bloop, pew, 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 pew. Then I can go wherever I want. So.
I don't know what I would want, man. It wouldn't be a lightsaber because I feel like that's too dangerous. I guess it would be something more like maybe like a speeder. I'll just say it.
Oh.
Like a speeder would be pretty cool. I feel like it's practical because it's like you could still use it, like in the actual road, but just like
True.
It'd be cooler.
You needing a car though, that would be pretty good.
Yeah, you wouldn't need gas and anything. I'll save a lot of money. Just gotta get it approved by the government, but that's it.
It's probably automatic too.
I mean,
So,
yeah, and I could use it as a boat, whatever.
a boat. That's crazy.
A T100.
So you want a walking tank?
T100?
Isn't it a T1000? No, it's
You
T1000.
want a walking tank? Is that what that is?
T1000's the liquid metal one.
Yeah, I want T1000.
Oh wait, no, that's Terminator. I'm thinking about the walkers.
I want
Why would you want a T1000?
So I want a T1000.
To kill you?
No.
To hunt you?
No,
To destroy everything?
no,
Dystopian society?
no.
Okay.
So
To turn into
why
any woman?
why would I want that? Because
Oh my goodness, this isn't Transformers.
Oh, yo. Yeah.
that's a good one.
I know.
I would want that just because if we could find a way to make that liquid like turn into certain things, I feel like that would be really dope.
So
I
you
feel
want
like
the
the
liquid.
concept is dope.
You want the
You know what
liquid.
I want the liquid.
Why
that
not just
comes with
nanobots?
it, you know what I'm saying?
Why not just nanobots?
So, like,
Because then at that point, I'm just Iron Man.
No.
Yeah, because he uses nanotechnology for his suit.
Well, at that point, you'll be Iron Man too, just with liquid metal instead of nanobots.
No, but liquid metal sounds so much cooler.
And hot.
Like, you know what I'm
Like-
saying?
like
Like,
degrees.
imagine Magneto, and then like liquid metal. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
oh, that's true. They kind of did that. I mean, just to like throw it out there. In the Legend of Korra, when Kuvira bended
Yes.
the liquid metal, that was pretty dope. I
Yeah.
ain't gonna lie.
See what I'm saying? That's what I would.
Yeah, I
want.
think that's a pretty good one. Yeah.
Okay.
It started off rocky, but I got there.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
no, I
It started
understand.
off
No,
rocky.
you're good.
You want the concept of it like bending and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm a metal bender.
So then, what are your top 3 to 5 sci-fi franchises, media, or whatever?
So like sci-fi media.
Yeah.
I'm
Whether
gonna
it's
go.
shows, games, or whatever.
I'm gonna go last. I'm gonna
You're
say
gonna
this
go
right
last?
now. I'm gonna go last.
Okay. I'll go
Okay.
first. I got my list right here of things. So I'm not gonna explain them.
You don't
I'm
got
not gonna explain them. You guys could just listen to what I say,
and roast
and then
it.
you
Got
check them out.
And then
No.
roast them for
Okay.
recommending them.
So, I only have anime, TV shows, and movies.
That's fine.
Okay, so I'm gonna start with Inception and Interstellar. Right, I'm gonna start off with those movies. I couldn't think of really many movies that like aren't like Star Wars. So 'cause I'm not really much into the sci-fi genre as someone like Joseph is, but Inception and Interstellar. Well, Interstellar specifically was one that really surprised me. This is a super long movie. Like it surprised me as much as Oppenheimer did, cause like it's really slow and like it's straight story. Like no, not really much action, and like but the way it builds is just amazing. Right? Interstellar, Inception, awesome movie back in the day. This is more for you youngins, cause I know the older people know what Inception is with Leonardo DiCaprio. Mind bending to say the least. And okay, so after that, I'm gonna go with an animated movie, which is Treasure Planet. Fire. Fire. One of the best animated movies ever made. I'm gonna just say that right now. It was super old. I forgot when it came out, like 2002.
One of the most expensive ones that came.
Bro,
expensive and advanced.
Bro, Joseph told me this before. It was CGI and hand drawn mixed. Just think, it's one of the most beautiful animated movies I've ever seen in my life. Amazing, great story, everything. Right. A TV show that this is kind of teetering on.
I thought that's the name of what you were talking about.
It's kind of teetering. This is kind of teetering on like a little bit of fantasy because we're talking about heroes right now. It's called Heroes, the TV show Heroes. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Heroes. Yes. He's probably heard of Heroes.
I don't remember it.
It's Heroes. It's like most people remember the Asian dude that could time travel.
Yep.
Okay.
It's like it's like the most famous one.
I'm not gonna lie. It's probably one of the best realistic heroic shows out there. I think it's better than The Boys. You can fight me on this, but
I will. But
I
not
feel,
right now.
I feel like it's a more practical view on people with superpowers than The Boys is, because I feel like The Boys really teeter over on like the bad part, like
And being a little outlandish.
yeah, a little bit more outlandish. With I feel like it's more. I can understand why it feels realistic, but it's a little bit too like over the edge. I feel like, in my opinion. But either way, Heroes, great story. I feel like, and the way it teeters on sci-fi is because of the time travel, and like it leads into like dystopia. So it's like it really leads into a lot of like very sci-fi elements to it. And the last one is an anime. It's called Akudama Drive. It's a short anime, 1 season, 12 episodes, amazing animation, cyberpunkish type of society with technology and all that stuff. And it's I don't know, it's just like basically criminals that band together to do something, and it's pretty crazy. Highly recommend. Short, sweet, action, awesome. That's it.
I like your list. Favorite
Thank you.
part was Treasure Planet
Treasure Planet,
because I know I rewatched that.
bro. When I was younger, I rewatched that a lot.
I think I broke the VHS tape.
I broke the DVD.
Movie wise, since I am a gamer, I really, really, really like Tron.
Wow, I didn't even think about Tron.
The original one was like as dumb and cool in terms of like effect wise and how it like became
How it
what
works?
it is.
Yeah.
Tron Legacy. I know a lot of people bash it. I don't know how. Watching that in theaters as like a kid,
It was good. It's just not my cup of tea. I don't really care about Tron.
I don't care. It
Personally.
looked cool. I liked it. Whatever.
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of the
I
Tron
even
I'm not a
like
fan of
franchise.
Tron specifically.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the franchise.
That's
Yeah.
fine. To each their own.
Yeah. But I can understand, like, whoa. I can understand why you would like it, the movie.
Anime wise, this one's an older anime.
I already know what you're going to say.
Yeah, I know what you're gonna say. Just go ahead and say it.
Blue Gender.
That's not what I thought you were going to say, but I know what that is.
I know what that is. Yeah, I'm with Frank on that one.
It's really cool. Very messed up.
Yeah, I try to keep mine more PG. Because sci-fi can get pretty crazy, especially with anime.
Yeah, if you're scared of bugs, don't watch it. But other than that, if you want a nice twist of an anime, especially if you like older stuff,
Twist, whoa. Whew.
and
Old anime is really dope. It has its own little thing to it. I
Yeah.
like it.
Blue Gender's good. After that, I'm gonna go with the game franchise.
Yeah. Couldn't think of any games that aren't obvious.
This is more sci-fi horror-y. Dead Space.
That I knew you were going to say.
I saw that one coming.
As
I literally made your list before I made my list in my head.
Not gonna lie. Once you said gaming, I already knew where you were going.
I was like, he's either going to say Dead Space or Mass Effect.
I was gonna say Resident Evil at first, and I was like, no.
Nah, it's a little teeter.
I dug Dead Space 1 because it's layered in terms of like
No, Dead Space is a really good game.
you get
super
the whole
scary, bro.
like in the future because eventually I feel like humanity is
basically
gonna
like
go
Alien.
out. Yeah, kind of. Except with a lot more religion, psycho, monstrosity
definitely a lot
to
more
it.
depth. Yeah, definitely a lot more depth to it.
Number 4, I like the new Star Trek trilogy that came out. I recommend Star Trek.
I
It's
watch
fun.
Star Trek.
Star Trek is a big miss.
It's a big miss for you.
Big miss. I'm sorry.
It's just like,
I've tried,
I'm not going to lie, I barely like Star
And I-
Wars.
and I
Like the movies.
and
Okay.
I've tried. I've sat down. I've watched the original. I've watched the new one. I watched Into Darkness in theaters,
That's so good.
and I fell asleep.
You're sad.
Yeah, I don't believe
I'm sorry, but for Star Trek fans out there, I'm so sorry.
Is that Captain,
I don't know
what was his
how-
name? Captain Cook?
Kirk.
Huh?
Kirk.
He was making a joke. No,
No, I wasn't. I was
He was making a
being-
joke.
I was
No,
being-
no, no. He's trolling.
How
He's
you
I'm not
fall
gonna
asleep
lie,
in the
I was-
Benedict Cumberbatch carried that movie.
I'm not going to lie.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
He was in Star Trek?
Yes, he's in Star Trek.
He's in
Benedict
Into Darkness.
Cumberbatch is not the star of that movie.
Wait, I'm talking about
Who was the star of that movie?
Look,
The dream I had while sleeping during it, that was the star.
wait
in
a
the
second.
movie.
Wait a second. You're stupid, bro. I
You're
meant
dumb.
the dude, the blonde haired dude with the blue eyes.
Yeah.
His name?
Yeah. No.
It's Captain Cook, right?
It's Kirk.
Oh,
Stop
I
doing
was
that.
right.
You're trolling.
Pine,
He's
yeah.
trolling.
The craziest part is I was being serious.
You not see his eyes? He did not lie.
I was not. I was being serious. I was
Next thing he's
close.
gonna say is spook, not Spock.
Okay, I know that guy. I know that guy. I know that guy. But what I'm saying is like to me, he just seems like a bootleg version of Star Lord.
Of William Shatner.
No, Star Lord.
Oh.
That's funny.
He just wants to be Star Lord so bad to me. Like, That's literally reminds me of a worse Guardians of the Galaxy.
Let's stop shooting down Joseph's recommendations. So stop it.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying why I don't like it.
And a good miscellaneous one. Well, I had two miscellaneous ones.
Say both of them.
Go ahead.
I don't remember the name of the first one.
Oh, okay, that's different.
The second one, just a fun sci-fi movie that you could honestly rewatch anytime. Snowpiercer.
I saw that, but I don't know what that is.
I know it's on its final season.
Oh, that's a show.
I'm talking about the movie, not the show.
No, I ain't gonna lie. I heard the show was crazy. I heard the show was pretty crazy.
I don't know what part of the story that the show takes place in, but watching that movie, which Chris Evans starring,
Snowpiercer. Oh, he's with like him with the axe and the beard.
Yeah.
No, I think I saw it when I was looking at sci-fi
movies. On
movies.
a train and the whole world is frozen.
Yeah.
And the rest of humanity is just living on this plane that never ends.
Then maybe the clip I saw was from the movie, not from the show. But I just saw like a clip of like some dude in a train and he threw like a javelin and it stabbed somebody. I was like, that's crazy.
That was probably the movie.
Yeah, that's probably the movie.
That's my list.
If you think about the other one while he's talking, then you should say it.
All right. So.
Go for it. Go ahead, Manny.
So let's just say Joseph presented this idea to us, and my brain could not boil it down to 5. That's why I said I'm going to go last.
Because you wanted to boil it down for you?
Because
Us to boil it down for you?
No. I'm going to say everything that I didn't hear from you guys, but I have movies, TV shows, anime, and games.
Okay, I found the movie.
What is it?
Okay.
Mutant Chronicles.
Well,
yes, I know what that is.
I have no idea what that is. Might as
It's
well
good.
be,
You probably wouldn't
might as well
like it,
be
but it's
Teenage
great.
Mutant Ninja Turtle Chronicles.
So, all right, for my number 1, and this is the one I recommend over everything because it's funny. Because that's actually the
Spaceballs?
Nope.
Oh.
Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
Oh, I didn't think about that. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't think about that movie. That's a good movie. That's a really good movie.
That is an adventure sci-fi movie.
Wow, I'm so mad I didn't think about that.
That is.
They're re-releasing in theaters, and I'm tempted to go back.
I'm not gonna lie. If you take me with you, I'll go with you.
Yeah, I will go. I will go watch it. I will go watch it again, guaranteed.
Me too. It's a really good movie, man.
So another one I have. I'm gonna just say the franchise because I love the whole franchise. The Planet of the Apes franchise.
Yeah, I would have never said that.
Caesar. Even the newer age one, whole like lives up to the older age one. So either one you choose is great storytelling.
I think you can argue it's better.
Andy Serkis putting in work in that franchise,
right? So
am I wrong to say that? Like you could argue it's better, the newer ones.
Yeah, I won't fault you for that.
I got a double-edged sword. I got a double whammy here. I got Gravity with Sandra Bullock.
Never saw it. I should see it.
It is a good movie.
It's great.
I always wanted to see it. I always forgot.
She won Oscars for it. Well deserved. It was awesome. The double whammy is the fact that I have that and The Martian.
Basically the same movie?
Not really.
But like, I would say Gravity. The situation in Gravity is so much more scary.
Yeah, that's a little bit more scary.
I mean, I saw the trailer, so I guess I could agree with you. Yeah.
Just watching the friggin' space station, just like you don't hear anything because like in space you don't hear nothing.
Obviously.
And then as a viewer, you're just watching the situation, and all you see is everything falling apart and just exploding. You see the explosion, but you're just like, wait, what happened? And then it goes
in that movie
silently.
You will appreciate the camera work and the feeling that she has in that movie.
So like cinematography is the best part about it. Okay,
right.
I like that.
And then to round it all up in movies, I have Ex Machina.
Never seen it.
Ex Machina, for those that haven't seen it, literally the portrayal of AI to a T. Not what humans would do.
I heard about it.
What humans would do with AI, and what the AI would do back. That perfect portrayal. Oscar Isaac is in the movie. He's the main antagonist. He is not a good guy.
Great actor.
That's what he does. That's what he does best.
So now I'm gonna hit you with some shows real quick. Just ones that I thought should be there.
I think you would really like Heroes.
I'll add it to my list.
I got The Umbrella Academy. It just recently finished.
Obvious.
I actually really enjoyed it. I found it to be actually might go down as like my top 20 favorite shows. So
that's pretty good considering you watch a lot of shows.
Upper 20, lower 20.
I would say like 15th, maybe like 15th through 18th.
So middle, but lower middle.
Yeah, lower middle.
Okay.
All right. And then I have Black Mirror.
I only watched the first season, so I couldn't say. It was like 6 seasons.
Black Mirror is just a situations that humans will get into in the future, and
The first season was good, but people say the 6th season is the best one. So I never saw it, so I didn't want to say it.
then my last one, which is brand new, Fallout. Fallout show on Amazon Prime.
Never seen it.
Wow, I've never played the game.
Never will.
The lore.
Never will.
The lore behind.
But I'll
Fallout's
tell you one thing that
is
made
good.
it really close. That show made me almost want to play the game. It was really good. All right. So now I'm gonna go into anime. All right. I got The Promised Neverland.
I like I was supposed to be 5.
I'm sorry, I
I'm
couldn't
kidding, it
do
was
it.
a joke, it was
I
a
knew
joke.
what was gonna happen.
I
was
couldn't
like,
do
was a
it.
joke, bro.
It was Sci-Fi was too broad. I'm sorry.
Never seen that either, though.
The Promised Neverland.
Never seen it.
You believe it or not, your cousin actually recommended it to me,
I know.
and
You recommended it to me too. I just never seen it.
I loved it. I loved
believe
it.
you.
I loved
People said the second season is garbage though.
it. It is.
I guess you just love animes with garbage second seasons.
All right, and I got another anime I got is Psycho-Pass. Psycho-Pass is crazy,
I ain't gonna lie, I cannot do it,
dude.
I can't watch it,
understand,
bro.
I understand.
I
Trust
know
me.
it's good.
It's
I
good.
still can't do it.
It's really good.
It's psychological anime. I can't do it, man.
And my last one for anime, Ghost in the Shell. Oh,
Never seen it, but
Oh.
I wanted to watch it. And it's not for children, is it? It's very adult, from what I know.
for the most part.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
It's good.
Nah,
So
the movie did not do it justice. I know that.
all right, and I'm blazing through this list. So this is the last part of it. The games.
The
Okay.
games.
The games.
Mass
All right?
Effect.
These are for our gaming fans out there. In the sci-fi genre, I have the Portal series.
Ooh, GLaDOS.
Yeah.
Okay.
I barely know anything about Portal.
Portal 1 and 2 are easily 10 out of 10s in gaming history, right? So I'm going to piggyback off of that, and I'm going to say Half-Life 2, specifically Half-Life 2.
Okay.
That another phenomenal game,
Straight
came out in 2004.
Xbox games.
I think, honestly, one of those games that me and Joseph can agree on, way ahead of its time.
Never played. I never had Xbox.
Head grabs. Those are scary.
All right. I got another one, The Last of Us. I forgot to mention that.
Ooh.
The Last of Us.
Never finished the second one, man, because I got halfway through and my PlayStation got corrupted.
This is the double whammy because it's a show and it's a game. So, and I'm not gonna lie, the show is just as good as the game from what I hear.
Because it's exactly what the game is. The show is exactly what the game is, bro.
That made me think of another game I loved.
I got 2 more games. I got Cyberpunk 2077.
Mm-hmm.
After the updates,
They fixed
and
it?
it became playable and actually like worth digging in.
Crazy to release something.
I haven't played Phantom Liberty, the DLC yet, but I'll tell you one thing, they did do work on that game and it was beautiful. It was awesome. And my last one, shout out to the only shooter I was good at when I was in high school.
Halo?
Titanfall 2.
Oh, okay.
Titanfall 2. Honestly, the sci-fi is like, it's so like broad and it has so many genres inside
That's
of it.
why it
that I
has
tried to hit
subgenres.
everything.
That's why I have subgenres.
That's why it was hard for me to boil it down to 5. But
That's probably the thing with the most subgenres, if I'm being honest.
and I
Yeah.
had wait, I forgot one more. One
God.
more movie
Here we go
for the
again.
for the girly girls out there. It's for the girly girls out there.
Spaceballs.
It's for it. No. It's for the girly girls. It's a sci-fi drama. The Shape of Water.
I don't know what that is.
It's for the girly girls out there that listen to our podcast. The Shape of Water is a beautiful tale about a woman and
A beautiful tale?
about a woman, human, and
Human woman?
and a very weird looking creature.
Bro, there's no way. This is what I'm hearing right now.
And I'm just saying, if you haven't seen The Shape of Water, you should check it out.
It's a beautiful tale.
It's a beautiful tale. It's for the girly girls out there. Sci-fi drama.
What's the one you were thinking about when you were a kid, man?
I love the BioShock franchise.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Sorry.
I mean, oh, if there's a
I
game,
apologize.
you know what?
I'm
If there's a game. I like BioShock 2, by the way.
You can edit
Bioshock
that out.
1,
You can
2,
edit that out.
I'm keeping it there.
No, they're all pretty good. But
Nah,
I never
they're
played them. I only
garbage.
I saw the whole walkthrough for all those. That was when I was in my walkthrough gameplay phases, and I watched all of BioShock.
That was the last time I played a game and I was jaw dropped.
Yeah, it's really good. There's one game, super miscellaneous game. Not many people have played it. Dark Void.
Ooh,
Bro,
that's an old school
game
game.
Yeah, it's an old
is
school.
fire. I played the
Wasn't
crap
the
out
best,
of
but
that
it was
game.
really fun.
Bro, it was so fun. Like, it was kind of garbage, kind of, but it was just so fun, bro. Like, it was so fun. It's basically like Space Uncharted
That's
With a
a good
jetpack.
comparison.
with a jetpack.
But yeah, with how broad and pretty open-ended that sci-fi is, please let us know how you feel. Like, what does sci-fi mean to you? What movies do you like? Let us know.
Means everything.
Let us know who won the argument between me and Frank.
But why does he always want to win, bro?
I just want that point to be just thrown out the window.
Let me know if you don't care about the argument, 'cause then you're on my side.
They could do better. I just think they could do better.
But anyway, I'm Joseph.
I'm Manny.
And I'm Frank.